So even with the noise of jets, it's still kind of nice to sit around this flowing water. Hopefully you can hear it. But I finally got all the pumps going, or the pump, there's only one pump, all the water flow going in the ponds to get it happening to where it all comes down into one. So the last step is just clean water coming into the pond for the fish. Just a series of waterfalls. There's my bin that I just planted recently. I'm already hoping to see some little sprouts sticking up, but and then the water flow keeps going. A lot of algae in the water right now because there hasn't been a lot of plants growing, and the fish have been doing their thing and the bacteria has been doing its thing. So really the only plants to go in there is the algae. That's going to change as everything else gets going, but I really like the flow. It's happening, and yay. So what else? Been doing a lot of work with the hoses and stuff. I had to seal up these ponds and bypass the water. I'm really glad I didn't do any hard plumbing, because having these hoses come out like this last stage when I had to skip this pond and this pond and this pond, but I still wanted all this bacteria growing in these rocks and everything. I was able to, instead of taking this hose up into the bird feeder here and have it drip down, I just set something up so it would drip straight into there, and then I could keep that part going into the pond, and where my only pump is, get that water to flow up into this tube going up into my top grow bed, which is pretty much the reason the fish are still alive, is all these plants have been going. Yeah, I planted them not too long ago. Had a couple survivors and actually kept some weeds going in there for a while, just so they were roots, given something for all that nitrogen to get into. But you can see the peas are taking off. I have a plan to have these grow over the sides and down to cover up all the metal and plastic. You can see the edges are pretty well covered with peas. Got strawberries going over here, some healthy onions and garlic. My celery is booming. It's just doing great. So yeah, there's a few of those kind of sprouting up around. Another one popping up over here. I don't know if I can focus and do all this, but yeah, everything's doing great. There's a little lettuce field over here. I don't have to put them very far apart. There'll just be tons of leaves of lettuce, and all those roots are going to be right in that water. No problem at all putting them that close. So this is just going to be a lettuce forest for this little bit over here. I got peas that are going to grow up through it. Like this guy's going to drape across, and you know, they're big long vines. So I've pretty much got a roadway mapped out for all these guys to find their way over the side and cover up some of the plastic. I left this weed right here kind of doing that job, but you know, it'll kind of give you a sense of what it'll look like, except there's going to be peas and flowers and I don't know, tomatoes, all kinds of stuff growing over the side, squashes, all the viney stuff going to be hanging out over the side. So I got lots of room for that to happen. Of course, that's just a weed right now, but it is covering stuff up. Another thing about the hoses, I'll cruise along the other side. Of course, the rocket stove, well, I'll get into that some other time, but it does its job. It just needs to be applied correctly. So all that's going to be peas and tomatoes and squashes and stuff. The water flow coming out of here, I had one siphon going and it worked pretty well, and I still use it. So it's coming out the other side into this thing, but I also drilled a hole in the side, and then I have it going straight into this tub, and I keep that underwater. What was happening, it took a while for that siphon to get going. The water level was changing quite a bit, and the pond was raising and lowering, and it just didn't look, whatever. Now this way it's consistent. I can turn on the pond, like put the pump going, and with a few minutes the water's going all the way through the whole cycle and down into there. It used to take quite a while just to get a drip. So anyway, that keeps that water level a lot more consistent. I have two siphons going, and they're both ending underwater at the level that this water is. And then that water just drips down into my tank here and goes through and does its job. So put a little bird feeder here. I'm gonna get a clear hose and get all that going. I've just been looking at volumes and how much hose I need and all these other things. So it'll be a little prettier once that's not a garden hose, but it's doing its thing. Falls down into there. and the whole cycle is complete, and I'm really happy with what's going on with it, and I'll keep doing more updates.